Light bulb, eureka. There we go. Gold up in them there hills. It makes perfect sense. Some of you are starting to figure it out already. Don't worry, I'm going to get there. I got to lay out the kind of we're walking the yellow brick road. I got to lay little yellow bricks first, though, okay? Story number 1. Washington Examiner. This is by Madison Dibble. Rand Paul to force Senate vote on Hunter Biden testimony if GOP colleagues back Democratic witnesses. Okay, what's going on here? Story number 1, again, I'm going to weave them together and tie together. The impeachment articles are going to be forwarded this week, likely tomorrow or so. Those impeachment articles, the president has been impeached, unfortunately, by the tyrannical House of Representatives Democrat members who, on a bipartisan against vote, because Democrats voted against impeachment, no Republicans voted for, have refused to send him over. Pelosi's under political pressure. She's going to send him over this week. The Senate Democrats claim disingenuously, because they don't really want witnesses, they're just trying to basically hurt the president by getting someone to say something stupid. The Senate Democrats have to now hold a trial, and they're insisting they want witnesses. The Republicans, outside of backstabbing coward Mitt Romney and, the typical rhino fools like Lisa Murkowski and others who just have no guts at all, they are pretty much unified against witnesses because, Joe, they make the case, which makes sense, that if you just impeach the president and you're claiming you need witnesses to get the facts, how did you impeach the president without the facts? Joe, is that a fair question or am I crazy?
That's a fair question, Dan.
Thank you. So the Senate Democrats, we need witnesses to get to the facts. You just impeached the president. You just impeached the president without having the facts? That's exactly what they're saying. So this has turned into a rather bizarre argument. And the Republicans, some of them, like, Mittens, who's a coward, Mittens wants, of course, the witnesses because he's a Democrat in disguise, not even a real Republican. He never was. So Mittens is caving. So Rand Paul smartly is saying, okay, if we're going to open up the Senate trial on the impeachment articles, follow me here, folks, to witnesses, then it's only fair in a fair trial that the defense, President Trump, gets witnesses too. Joe, I'm not messing around. I'm asking you, Paula, and the entire listening audience. I get it. I'm a partisan. I'm a conservative, but I do believe in facts. Try to take off your partisan hat for a moment and answer the question. I'll ask it and answer the question in your own head. Is that unreasonable? If you're going to try the president of the United States on impeachment articles and you're claiming it's going to be fair, you're suggesting that the president doesn't get to defend himself with any of his witnesses. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I'm asking you to seriously answer that. It's a fair question. Well, of course that's what the Democrats are saying because they're tyrants. And they don't believe in free speech, fair trial. They don't believe in any of the Bill of Rights, for a matter of fact. I'm talking about the Hill Democrats because that's what many tyrants do. So Rand Paul, who's smarter than most of practically all the Senate Democrats and most of the fake rhino Republicans, sadly, that occupy the Senate, Paul said, okay, well, if we're going to get witnesses, I want Hunter Biden up there too. Because remember, the whole core of their case is that Donald Trump, when he was on this call with the Ukrainian president, was interested in the corruption that the Bidens were involved in Ukraine. The Democrats say, well, it was a quid pro quo, that he wanted information on the Bidens in exchange for military aid. There's no evidence that's true. But Rand Paul's bringing up a fair point, Joe, and saying, well, if this entire case is about Biden corruption in Ukraine, is the Biden corruption in Ukraine real? Because if it is, the United States has an interest in getting to the bottom of it. And in order to get to the bottom of it, Joe, we need to talk to Hunter Biden.
Random man.
Sounds fair enough to me. Nice job, Rand Paul.
Yes, sir.
So keep that story in your head because we're going to weave these things together in the warning BS Democrat narrative incoming. I saw this other story this morning at the Washington Examiner. Check this one out. And you may say, well, how are these two related? I don't get it. Oh, that's what I'm here for. Dan Chaitlin, Washington Examiner. Again, be up at the show notes at Bongino.com. Deeply disturbing, Joe. Gang of 8 Democrats are shocked, I say, by reports on the Russians hacking Burisma.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, they're stunned. They're stunned in sheer amazement at what's going on right now. So, just to be clear, there's a story in the New York Times I'll get to in a second. Hold on your head. Hold the Hunter Biden story. Hunter Biden may be forced to testify in the Senate trial about his malfeasance in Ukraine. A story emerges conveniently at the New York Times, which again, I'll get to in a little bit. Hold on to that. conveniently emerges right at the, just totally by chance, of course, that the Russians may have hacked Burisma, which is the Ukrainian gas company that hired Hunter Biden. Now, I'm sitting here this morning, and I'm like, what is going on? Light bulb, eureka! There we go, gold up in them there hills. It makes perfect sense. Some of you are starting to figure it out already. Don't worry, I'm going to get there. I got to lay out the kind of we're walking the yellow brick road. I got to lay little yellow bricks first, though, okay? So first, Hunter Biden may be forced to testify in a Senate trial about the job he took with a Ukrainian gas company, despite having no credentials while his dad was in Ukraine negotiating Ukraine natural gas stuff. Wow, that seems shady. Now, all of a sudden, liberal New York Times is like, the Russians hacked the same Ukrainian gas company Hunter was working for. Now, watch Adam Schiff on Rachel Maddow last night. Watch Adam Schiff, sleazeball, shady Adam Schiff, discredited conspiracy theory promoting tinfoil cap wearing liar. On Rachel Maddow last night, Maddow asks him about the story about the Russians hacking Hunter Biden's company he was working for, Burisma. And watch Adam Schiff look totally shocked, stunned, astonished by what's going on. Just like he was astonished by the whistleblower complaint, despite the fact they were already meeting with the whistleblower. Check this out.
I think the other thing that's apparent from this, if this reporting is correct, is the message that Vladimir Putin has gotten is not to stay out of American elections, but you're welcome to get involved in American elections as long as it helps Donald Trump. That seems to be the message that President Trump has conveyed, and at least the message that Vladimir Putin has received. So, we're going to start by finding out what our intel agencies know about this. I have to say, Rachel, I'm a bit distressed to see this for the first time in a newspaper report. If the intel community is aware of this, that should have been brought to our attention by now. But I don't find it surprising. I do find it deeply disturbing. And I would hope that maybe both parties can get out ahead of this, even if the president won't, and condemn any Russian effort to influence the next election.
Did you catch it? So Schiff is shocked, folks. Just like he was shocked by the whistleblower complaint that people in his office had already organized. He was shocked by that, too, despite they were. He's shocked. He's stunned to find out that the Russians may have hacked Burisma, this natural gas company Hunter Biden was working for. Let me just put the narrative out there right now, what's going on. Because remember this and never forget it. Adam Schiff, the New York Times, Kyle Cheney of Politico, who I got into a Twitter back and forth this morning, who's another one of these conspiracy theory promoting, discredited, police state supporting hacks. Anytime they need an idiot, they go to this guy to put out a story. Here's the narrative. You're going to hear it. If Hunter Biden is pulled up at that trial and some information surfaces out there about Hunter Biden, they're going to say it was Trump with the Russians hacking into Burisma.
Yep.
Guaranteed. Take it to the bank, sign that check, cash it, spend the money. It is done. There you go.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud and follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.